Attending my childhood friend's wedding back in my hometown, I was swamped. Being a groomsman, greeting guests, helping with decorations, I didn't even have time to look at my phone. I had just sat down to grab a bite to eat in the evening when my colleague, Lina, from my project team, called me relentlessly. As soon as I answered, she roared. "Where the hell have you been? Where are the project files? Why aren't you answering your phone?" I suppressed my anger. "I'm on leave. I'm at a wedding in my hometown." She exploded even more. "I don't care where you are. Can you just abandon your work? Shouldn't you be on call 24/7? I hung up and turned off my phone immediately. Some people just don't understand boundaries. Who was that? Why so angry? Did someone die? My childhood friend and the groom of the day, Depung, asked with his mouth full of a greasy chicken leg. He leaned in looking gossipy. I put my phone face down on the red plastic tablecloth covered in oil stains, picked up my chopsticks, and grabbed a chicken leg as well. A colleague who's not very bright. A female colleague, right? Depung winked, looking like he knew something. Judging by the tone, she's got a lot of resentment. "Qinyang, did you do something to lead her on and then abandon her?" "Get lost," I said with a laugh. "What could I have done? I took 3 days off, approved on the OA system, and mentioned it in the department group. She's just blind and can't find the files, so she's taking it out on me." "Tisk, even capitalists would shed a tear," Depung said, after finishing the chicken leg and sucking on his fingers. "Aren't you afraid she'll make things difficult for you for hanging up like that?" "Afraid of what?" I swallowed the chicken. "I'm here to be your best man, not to be your grandson. My brother's wedding is the most important thing. Besides, with my phone off, is she going to crawl through the internet cable to beat me?" After saying that, I felt the whole world become peaceful. I could hear the lively cheers of the villagers, and I smelled the unique aroma of the rural feast, a mixture of firewood and various dishes. Red lanterns hung on the old locust tree in the yard, and the light made everyone's faces look rosy. This is life. As for Lina, who was roaring into her phone hundreds of miles away, let her explode by herself. Lina is the head of our project team, a woman who has striving engraved on her forehead and tries to get to the director position before the age of 30 by squeezing herself and her colleagues dry. Her life motto is probably, "As long as I grind fast enough, the KPI won't be able to catch up with me." And me, Qinyang, a regular office worker who just wants to get off work on time and sleep on my days off. Our compatibility is worse than me and our company's boss. I applied for this leave half a month in advance. Depung is the brother I grew up with wearing open crotch pants. If he gets married, even the king of heaven would have to step aside. I handed over all my work clearly, and the files were categorized and placed in a shared drive folder named Emergency Backup Files during Depeng's wedding. I believe I've done my best. The wedding banquet was lively. I was poured a lot of alcohol and was helped back to the room by Depeng's parents, feeling dizzy. This was the room I lived in as a child, with posters of the 4 heavenly kings plastered on the wall, the corners curling up. I lay down on the bed. The quilt smelled freshly sun-dried. My phone? I had no idea where I'd tossed it. To hell with the project, to hell with the files, I'm going to sleep. The next day, I was awakened by a constant buzzing sound. My hangover headache felt like needles pricking my brain. I fumbled around for a long time before finding my phone in the crack between the bed and the wall. Great, it wasn't a call, it was a WeChat message bombardment. I had turned on my phone before going to bed last night and forgot about it. On the screen, a red 99+ mark on Lina's profile picture was particularly glaring. I opened it and quickly scrolled through. It was all her monologue. "Lina, Qinyang, how dare you hang up on me? Lina, where are you? Call me back. Lina, can you take responsibility if there's a problem with the project? Lina, very well, playing disappearing act, huh? Lina, I'm telling you, don't think that just because you took leave you're off the hook. If I can't find you, I'll go to your hometown to find you. Lina, I asked HR, your hometown is Chinja Village, right? Wait. The last message was sent at 6 o'clock this morning. I looked out the window. The sun was already high in the sky. She wouldn't really come, would she? My heart skipped a beat, but then I thought it was impossible. This woman may be crazy, but not that crazy, right? From our company in City A to our small, broken village, it takes at least 7 or 8 hours by high-speed rail, bus, and then a three-wheeled vehicle. For a file that she can't find herself? Too costly. It's probably just to scare me. I yawned and replied to her. The files are in the shared drive, emergency backup files during Depeng's wedding folder. I sent you the link last Wednesday at 4:15 p.m. After sending it, I threw my phone aside and got up to wash up. In the courtyard, Depeng was squatting on the ground, helping his mother pick green beans. Seeing me come out, he grinned. You're awake? You slept like a log last night. Hurry, your sister-in-law left you breakfast, big meat buns. I held a bowl of porridge, and with 2 large meat buns, squatted next to him. My colleague said she's going to hunt me down to our village, I said while eating. Huh? Depeng dropped the green beans in his hand. Really? The one from yesterday? Yeah. Why? She said the project files are missing. Depeng looked incredulous. Just for some damn files? Is she crazy? Are you city people all so competitive? He paused, then put on that gossipy expression again. Something's not right here. A woman traveling thousands of miles for a file to find you? Qinyang, tell me honestly, did you get someone pregnant and not take responsibility? I almost spat out a mouthful of porridge. Is there anything else in your head besides that? She's just a pure workaholic with insane control issues. In her eyes, the earth would stop rotating without her, and the project would fail without me. Depeng shook his head, looking unconvinced. I don't believe it. A normal woman wouldn't do something like that. Unless she's secretly in love with you. If she can't have you, she'll ruin you. I rolled my eyes, too lazy to argue with him. But our conversation, word for word, floated into the ears of the aunts and uncles who were picking vegetables nearby. I didn't pay attention at the time. I had no idea that a huge storm, enough to subvert my more than 20 years of simple life, was rapidly taking shape, centered on Depeng's ridiculous speculation. The speed of information dissemination in the countryside is faster than 5G, especially in this kind of occasion where the whole village comes out to eat at a banquet. The slightest movement can be transformed into an earth-shattering drama in the mouths of gossiping relatives. Our conversation with Depeng, after fermentation, by noon, the version had become, have you heard? Yangzi has a girlfriend in the city, and she's really something, a female leader. More than that, I heard she has a terrible temper. Yangzi came back this time to hide from her. Hide what? I heard Depeng's wife's second aunt say that the woman is pregnant, and Yangzi doesn't want to take responsibility, so he ran back. Oh my God, what a sin. This child looks so honest. How could he do such a thing? I heard these outrageous remarks when I went to the village store to buy cigarettes. Aunt Wang, at the store, handed me cigarettes while looking at me with a painful look of, you've been corrupted, kid. Yangzi, it's not for me to say. It's not easy to work hard outside, but you have to be responsible. Since the girl followed you and did that, you have to take responsibility to the end. Leaving her in the city and running back here, what's that about? The hand holding the cigarette stiffened. Aunt Wang, who told you that? The whole village is talking about it. Aunt Wang lowered her voice. Don't worry, I'm tight-lipped. I won't spread rumors. You quickly bring the girl over here. Our village may be poor, but we can still afford to support 2 more people. I felt my temples throbbing. What is all this? I tried to explain. Aunt Wang, it's not what you think. She's just a colleague. It's a work thing. Aunt Wang interrupted me, speaking earnestly, still trying to deny it. Your mother just came here to wipe away tears, saying she's sorry to your deceased father for not raising you well. My head buzzed. It's over. This matter has risen to the height of family ethics. I didn't buy cigarettes and ran home. As soon as I entered the yard, I saw my mother sitting on a small stool, her eyes red, and Depeng's mother was constantly persuading her. Seeing me, my mother whooshed, stood up, picked up the duster in the corner, and rushed towards me. You little bastard. I'll beat you to death. I told you not to behave yourself outside. While dodging, I shouted, Mom, Mom, let me explain. It's a rumor. It's fake. Fake. My mother was shaking with anger. The whole village knows. We're shot by my old face. Where should the ancestors of the Chun family put their faces? Depeng also rushed over, blocking my mother. Annie, don't get excited. Let's talk things over. Qinyang, hurry up and apologize to your mother. I really couldn't explain myself, even if I jumped into the Yellow River. What do I have to apologize for? This never happened. Depeng, it's all your fault with that big mouth of yours. Depeng looked innocent. I didn't expect it to be like this. In this chaotic moment, my phone rang again. I took it out and saw it was Li Na. My hand trembled, and I pressed the speakerphone. Qinyang, you're very good. You think I can't do anything to you just because you're hiding in the village? I've already arrived in your county. I'm taking a bus to Chinjigu right now. I'm telling you, if you don't hand over the final version of the Starlight Project proposal today, I'm not done with you. Li Na's shrill voice, through the phone speaker, clearly spread throughout the entire yard. The yard was instantly silent. All eyes were glued to my phone. Then they turned to me in unison. The look in their eyes was incredibly complex. There was shock, anger, disdain, and even a hint of pity. The feather duster in my mother's hand fell to the ground with a thud. Her lips trembled as she looked at me, then at the phone. Her eyes rolled back, and she fell straight backward. Oh dear, sister-in-law. Depeng's mother was quick to catch her. Only one thought ran through my head. It's over. This is really over. Starlight Project. In the ears of the villagers, that had to be the name of a child, right? Chun Starlight? It took a long time of pinching her philtrum for my mother to slowly wake up. The first thing she did upon waking was grab my hand, tears streaming down her face. Yangzi, Mom won't hit you. It's Mom's fault. She's useless and let you suffer in the city. That girl sounds like a fiery one. If she wants to come, let her come. We'll accept it. Me, Mom, I told you it's not. Don't say any more, my mother interrupted. Starlight is a nice name. Whether it's a boy or a girl, it's a nice name. I completely gave up on explaining. Let it be destroyed quickly. The whole afternoon, our house was shrouded in an eerie atmosphere. My mother and Depeng's mother, along with a few aunts who had rushed over upon hearing the news, gathered in the kitchen, chopping vegetables and whispering to each other. I strained my ears to listen, vaguely hearing words like postpartum care, brown sugar eggs, and betrothal gifts. They seemed to be preparing a banquet for a wicked daughter-in-law who was about to arrive, a banquet full of simple rural hospitality. Depeng became my personal bodyguard, not leaving my side for a moment. He patted my shoulder, his expression solemn. Brother, what's done is done. More words are useless. When she comes, be nice and apologize. Let's stabilize her first. Don't provoke her again. Otherwise, if she starts crying, making a scene, and threatening suicide in our village, Chinjia village will lose all face. I nodded blankly. What else could I say? Everything I said now would sound like a flimsy excuse to them. I even started to doubt my life. Could it be that I really did something to Li Na in some parallel universe where I lost my memory? How else could this be so outrageous? At dusk, there was a commotion at the village entrance. Guzi, who was helping to pack things in the yard, stumbled in, out of breath. She's here. Brother Yangzi. That woman from the city. She's here. My heart tightened. What was coming was finally here. I took a deep breath, stood up, and prepared to face the trial that was destined to be recorded in the history of Chinjia village. My mother, Depeng's parents, and all the relatives and friends who hadn't left the yard yet, dozens of pairs of eyes, were all staring at me. Their eyes filled with the heroic and tragic sentiment of the wind howls, the river runs cold, the hero departs, never to return. I braced myself and walked towards the courtyard gate. Before I even reached the gate, I saw a figure, surrounded by a crowd of villagers watching the excitement, appearing in my field of vision. Li Na. She was wearing a well-tailored black business suit, with 10-centimeter high heels on her feet. Her hair was neatly styled in a bun, and she had meticulously applied makeup on her face. But all of this couldn't hide her dishevelment. Her high heels were covered in mud, and the hem of her suit was a bit wrinkled. Most importantly, she was dragging a silver suitcase, the wheels making a clunk clunk sound on the uneven dirt road in the village. Her expression was one of utter rage. When she saw me, her eyes almost spat fire. Chun, Young. She gritted her teeth as she called out my name. However, this angry accusation of hers sounded different to the villagers. This wasn't someone coming for documents. This was clearly someone coming to collect a debt. A love debt. Before I could speak, my mother rushed forward. She didn't rush towards me, but towards Lina. Amidst everyone's stunned gazes, my mom grabbed Lina's hand. Her face instantly blossomed into an incredibly enthusiastic, even fawning smile. Io, girl, you finally arrived. Were you tired on the way? Quick, come inside and rest. Lina was dumbfounded. She looked at my mom, then at me, the anger on her face replaced by immense confusion. You are. I'm Qinyang's mom. Without explanation, my mom pulled her toward the courtyard, her other hand patting the back of Lina's hand enthusiastically. Look at you, child, coming all this way and bringing so much stuff. Quick, Depeng, take your sister-in-law's. Oh no, your sister's suitcase inside. Depeng froze for a moment. Then, oh, he said, quickly stepping forward and taking the suitcase from the petrified Lina. Lina was half-dragged, half-pulled into the courtyard by my mom. Her high heels, which could exude an aura of commanding 1,000 troops in the A City CBD office building, now sank deep into the muddy ground of the courtyard, making each step unusually difficult. Auntie, no, listen to me. Lina tried to break free. Hey, why are you still calling me Annie? It's so distant, my mom said, smiling from ear to ear. Quick, sit down. A small stool was placed behind Lina. Lina glanced down at the greasy stool, which had undoubtedly been sat on by countless people, a look of disgust flashing across her face, but she still sat down stiffly. As soon as she sat down, she was surrounded by a group of enthusiastic aunties. Girl, your belly. It's not showing much yet, is it? Yeah, you need to eat more good stuff. We may not have much in the countryside, but we have plenty of free-range chicken and eggs. Your heels are too high. It's not good for the baby. Annie got you a pair of cloth shoes. Change into them. They're comfortable. Lina's expression went from confusion to shock to horror. She looked at me pleadingly, her eyes seeming to say, What's going on here? Did I walk into the spider cave? What could I do? I could only return a helpless, apologetic look. My friend, it's not that I won't save you. I'm about to drown myself. Make way. The chicken soup is here. Depeng's mom, my future godmother, walked out of the kitchen carrying a huge sea bowl. Inside the bowl was a bowl full of golden chicken soup, with a few red dates and goji berries floating on top. A complete chicken leg floated prominently on top. The rich aroma instantly filled the entire courtyard. Come on, girl, drink it while it's hot. This is our family's year-old hen, the most nutritious. Depeng's mom pushed the bowl toward Lina. Lina's face turned green. She was extremely strict about managing her figure. Her lunch was consistently boiled chicken breast and vegetable salad. Oil? Carbohydrates? Those were demons. The shiny, steaming bowl of chicken soup in front of her was no different from a bowl of poison in her eyes. Auntie, thank you, I'm not hungry. She managed to squeeze out a smile. That won't do. My mom immediately frowned. If you're not hungry, Starlight is. You're not alone now. You have to think of the baby. Starlight? Lina's brow furrowed even more. What's Starlight? Don't pretend. A quick-witted auntie next to her said. You two said on the phone, the Starlight Project. What nice, bright name. Lina's mouth slowly opened into an O shape. She finally, perhaps, understood a little. She suddenly turned her head, staring at me with deadly intensity. That look was no longer simple anger, but an intent to kill that was mixed with your dead meat. I shrank back and quietly took a step backward. Auntie, Lina took a deep breath, as if trying to control her emotions. I think you might have some misunderstanding. I came this time not to. We understand, my mom interrupted, pushing the bowl of chicken soup forward again. Girl, I know you're angry. Qinyang is wrong. He's a jerk, he's not human. Don't worry. I'll make him kneel down and apologize to you later. But you have to drink this soup. No matter how big the matter, you have to fill your stomach first. Come on, be good. Lena looked at the bowl of chicken soup and then at my mom and the group of aunties around her with their unquestioning gazes. Her decisive aura from the workplace was shattered by the simple, unreasonable rustic hospitality. If she didn't drink it, she would be disrespectful and ignorant. If she dared to get angry, she would be a city shrew causing trouble in our village. She, an elite white-collar worker, project leader, and future director in a city CBD, was now forced to the edge by a bowl of chicken soup. I saw her hand trembling slightly. Finally, she compromised. She took the bowl, which was bigger than her face, her expression as tragic as if she were about to drink hemlock. She picked up the spoon, carefully skimmed off the chicken oil on the surface, scooped a small mouthful of broth, closed her eyes, and sent it into her mouth. Yeah, that's right. My mother and the aunties all showed satisfied smiles on their faces. It was as if they had won an important battle. And me, looking at Lena's expression as if she was half dead, I felt a surge of, no, a lot of schadenfreude. Serves you right for not checking your emails. Serves you right for your barrage of calls. Serves you right for threatening me. Now, do you know how powerful Chin Family Village is? Let you experience what a vast sea of people's war is like. Lena ultimately couldn't drink that bowl of chicken soup. She took 2 sips, then covered her mouth and said she was carsick and wanted to vomit. This reason, to the aunties, was as solid as a rock. She's pregnant. That's right. I was like that when I was pregnant with Da Peng. I wanted to vomit whenever I smelled oily things. So, Lena was supported into my room, adorned with posters of the 4 heavenly kings by my mother and Da Peng's mother, like a star receiving the moon. That was the bed I had slept on since I was a child. At this moment, it was gloriously undertaking the important task of receiving the future young mistress of the Chun family. The people in the courtyard gradually dispersed. I finally found an opportunity to slip into the room. Lena was sitting on the edge of the bed, looking at Aaron Kwok's young poster on the wall with a lifeless expression. Seeing me come in, she whooshed up, lowered her voice, and squeezed out a few words through her teeth. Chin Yang, explain to me clearly, what the hell is going on? I don't know how it turned out like this. I spread my hands, looking innocent. I just told my buddy that one of my colleagues couldn't find a file and was going to kill me. Then the rumor grew wings. Colleague? Rumor. Lena sneered. What about the Starlight Project? Dare you say you didn't shout it on the phone? That's the project name. Project name. I almost cried. Big sister, can you be reasonable? Who names their child project? How would I know what strange habits you country folk have for naming things? Lena was clearly already driven mad. What do we do now? Look outside. Your mother and those aunties, the way they look at me, like they're looking at a hen that lays golden eggs. What can I do? I'm also desperate. We were like 2 underground party members making contact, lowering our voices, and blaming each other in the room. Just then, the door creaked open. My mother walked in, carrying a bowl of brown sugar water. When she saw the 2 of us gazing deeply at each other, a look of relief immediately appeared on her face. Young couples quarrel, and then make up. Yangzi, you too. How could you let Nana travel so far alone? So dangerous. She handed the brown sugar water to Lena. Here, dear, drink some of this to warm yourself up. Lena looked at the bowl of brown sugar water, the expression on her face even more spectacular than when she saw the chicken soup earlier. Andy, drink. My mother's face darkened, her tone leaving no room for doubt. Lena looked at me for help. I could only signal to her with my eyes. Drink it, otherwise you won't be able to get out of here today. Lena resigned herself to her fate and took it, drinking in small sips. My mother nodded with satisfaction, then turned to me, her face darkening again. You come out with me. I had a bad feeling and followed my mother into the courtyard. Kneel down. My mother pointed to an open space in the middle of the courtyard. Mom, I told you to kneel down. My mother's voice suddenly rose. I had no choice but to kneel down in humiliation. My knees hit the hard concrete floor, causing a sharp pain. My mother pointed at my nose and began an emotional accusation. Chinyong, Chinyong, who are you worthy of? Are you worthy of your deceased father? Are you worthy of me raising you with so much hardship? Such a good girl from the city gave you the most important thing, and you, on the other hand, patted your butt and ran away. Are you still a man? My mother's voice was loud enough for Lina in the room to hear clearly. I was speechless and could only lower my head. Inside the house, Lina was probably dumbfounded. She probably hadn't experienced such a magical scene in her life. My mom scolded me for a good 10 minutes, from stealing sweet potatoes from the neighbors when I was a kid to not telling her about my college relationships. Finally, probably tired of scolding, she took a breath and said, "This matter can't be left at that. Tomorrow, I'll find the village chief, find the elders of the clan, and we'll have a meeting. We have to settle this for you two. Betrothal gifts, wedding date, all must be discussed. Our Chun family can't let people point fingers at the girl." With that, she turned and left, leaving me kneeling messily in the evening breeze. I heard a faint sound from inside the house, like a glass falling to the floor. Finished. Lina was probably completely broken. I knelt in the yard for half an hour until the pung couldn't stand it anymore and came over to pull me up. "Bro, you're being wronged." He patted the dirt off my knees. "But Auntie is doing it for your own good. Look, this thing is blown up so big. It's not right not to give her an explanation." I glared at him. "Shut your mouth." I limped back to the room. Lina was still sitting by the bed, but in the same posture. She held her phone in her hand. The screen lit up, as if she was looking at something. Her expression was strange, not angry, not frightened, but a daze. A daze after having her values reshaped. I just wanted to speak." She looked up and handed me the phone. On the screen was my email sent items box. The top email recipient was her. The title was Starlight Project, Final Version Plan, and Related Materials. Sent time, last Wednesday, for 15 p.m. In the body of the email, there was also a cloud drive link. I just remembered, you seem to have said you sent an email. Her voice was a little dry. I just logged into my email on my phone and saw it. So, I looked at her word by word. "You came all this way just because you forgot to check an email?" Lina's face, at a speed visible to the naked eye, changed from white to red, then to purple, and finally to a complex brown color. Her lips moved, wanting to say something, but couldn't utter a word. The truth, so suddenly and absurdly revealed. Her earth-shattering anger, her pursuit from afar, the storm that swept through the entire Chenjigu, originated just because of her own negligence. An atmosphere of awkwardness filled the air. Unparalleled awkwardness. I looked at her, she looked at me. The two of us, a heartless man who knelt in the ancestral hall for half an hour, a chaste woman pregnant out of wedlock, in the eyes of the whole village, looked like two fools. That, Lina finally spoke, her voice as small as a mosquito buzz. "I'm sorry." This was the first time in the 3 years I'd known her that I'd heard those 3 words from her mouth. "What's the use of saying sorry now?" I said unhappily. "Look outside. My mom is already preparing to hold a village-wide meeting tomorrow to discuss our wedding. The betrothal gift is 88,000, and 3 gold jewelry pieces are a must. Do you want to stay for engagement feast before you leave?" Lina's face turned even redder. I'll leave now." She stood up, wanted to grab her suitcase. "Leave?" I sneered. "Try to leave now? The moment you step out of this door, I'll be branded with the crime of abandoning a pregnant girlfriend. My mom will break my legs." "You believe it?" Lina froze. She realized that things had developed to a point where she had no control. When she came, she was a menacing creditor. Now, she had become a prisoner trapped in a moral cage. Then what to do?" she asked on the verge of tears. Was this still the iron lady in the office who could make interns cry with her orders? Looking at her distraught appearance, the anger in my heart unknowingly dissipated. Forget it. She was also a victim screwed over by her own stupid actions. "There's no way," I sighed. "Tonight, you sleep here. Tomorrow morning, before dawn, I'll take you to the town to catch the bus. Just say, Just say the company has urgent business and you have to go back. I'll handle the rest. This was the only way for now. What about you? Lina looked at me. Me? I smiled wryly. What else can I do? Get another beating from my mom, I guess. I'm used to it, anyway, after all these years. Lina didn't say anything. She looked down at her high heels, covered in mud. Silence fell over the room again. After a long while, she said softly, "Thank you." I never imagined in my life that my first elopement would be with Lina. For 30 in the morning, and it was still dark. The village was quiet, with only the occasional rooster crowing and dog barking. I tiptoed and pushed open the door, with Lina following behind me. She had changed into a pair of flat cloth shoes borrowed from Daping's wife, and the professional suit she was wearing, paired with those shoes, looked strangely comical. We didn't dare drag her suitcase, so we carried it together, one person on each end, like two thieves stealing landmines. Luckily, my mom and Daping were both sound asleep. We successfully sneaked out of the yard without disturbing anyone. Walking on the small road in the village, the early morning air was cold, with a muddy, earthy smell. It was probably Lina's first time walking a road like this at night. She was scared and stayed close behind me, occasionally tripping on small stones on the road. "Do you not have streetlights here?" she asked softly. "We do." I pointed to the moon in the sky, all natural, no pollution. She didn't say anything else. A dilapidated, three-wheeled motorcycle was parked at the entrance of the village. It belonged to Uncle San, the neighbor. I had asked him about borrowing it yesterday. I threw the suitcase into the back of the vehicle and started up. Put it to. The sound of the engine seemed especially loud in the quiet of the early morning. My heart tightened, and I quickly told her to get on. "Hold on tight." I twisted the throttle, and the three-wheeled vehicle shot forward, bumping along the uneven dirt road. Lina screamed "ah" in the back and held onto my clothes tightly. I could feel her body trembling nonstop. I didn't know if it was from the cold or from fear. It was more than half an hour's drive from our village to the town. Along the way, besides the sound of the engine, neither of us spoke. A hint of fish-belly white gradually appeared on the horizon. The fields on both sides of the road, in the morning light, revealed hazy outlines. I suddenly felt that this scene was a bit strange. Me and the female boss I hate the most, on such an early morning, riding a broken three-wheeler, bumping along the country road. Like the beginning of a cheesy art house movie. When we arrived at the town's bus station, the first bus to the county hadn't arrived yet. I parked the vehicle on the side of the road and went to a nearby breakfast stall to buy her a cup of soy milk and 2 steamed buns. "Eat something, it's hot." She took it and said, "Thank you." She held the hot soy milk and drank it in small sips, no longer the prickly female devil from yesterday, but more like a wronged little girl. "I'm really sorry about what happened yesterday," she apologized again. "I've caused you so much trouble." "A lot of trouble," I said unpleasantly. "I don't know how I'm going to explain this to my mom when I get back." "Then, what are you going to say?" "I'll say you had a moment of conscience and decided to shut down Starlight and break all ties with me." Lina's face flushed red again, and she took a big bite of the bun, as if she were biting me. The bus arrived. I helped her carry her suitcase onto the bus. She stood at the door of the bus, looking back at me. "Chinyang," she hesitated, but still opened her mouth. "After you go back this time. Can we?" "Don't worry," I interrupted her. "Heaven knows, earth knows, I know. I won't tell anyone at the company. After all, I have my reputation too." She breathed a sigh of relief, a trace of gratitude in her eyes. "Then, take care." Having said that, she turned and got into the bus. I watched the minibus spew out a puff of black smoke and drive away, swaying. I stood there until the bus disappeared at the end of the street. A gust of morning wind blew, and I shivered. Okay, the crazy woman is gone. Now it's time to go back and face my own judgment. I got on my tricycle, turned the front around, and headed towards Chun Family Village with the tragic feeling of going to the execution ground, chugging and sputtering. By the time I got home, it was already broad daylight. My mom was standing at the gate of the courtyard with a rolling pin in her hand, like a door god. Seeing me come back alone, her face instantly darkened. "Where's the person?" "Gone," I said, forcing myself to be brave. "Gone." My mom's tone instantly rose 8 octaves. "You let her go? Chinyang, you heartless thing." The rolling pin came sweeping at my legs with a whooshing sound. I was prepared and dodged it in a flash. "Mom, listen to my explanation," I shouted as I dodged. She has a huge emergency at her company, a multi-million-dollar project waiting for her signature. If she doesn't go back, the whole company will go bankrupt. She's also doing it for work. She has no choice. I could only make the matter bigger. The bigger the better. I don't care about her project. My mom didn't listen at all, chasing me all over the courtyard. What does that compare to my grandson's? No, her reputation. It's important. Too important. I said nonsense while running. She said that after she finishes dealing with the company's affairs and becomes CEO, she will come back and marry me in a grand style. She'll drive a Rolls-Royce to pick me up and buy you a gold necklace. My mom's footsteps chasing me slowed down. "Really?" she asked, half believing, half doubting. "Really? Truer than gold?" I quickly nodded. She said she loves me deeply and will only marry me in this life. But as an independent woman of the new era, she must have her own career. She said she can't let you look down on her. Even I didn't believe this nonsense. But unexpectedly, my mom believed it. She stopped, threw away the rolling pin, and a thoughtful expression appeared on her face. "CEO, that's bigger than the village chief, right?" "Bigger. Much bigger," I quickly said. "She manages hundreds of people." My mom nodded, and a hint of pride appeared on her face. My son has good taste. All right, since it's for her future, then I won't blame her. You too. Be good to her in the future." A storm that could have triggered a family war was forcibly quelled by me with a lie about a CEO. I breathed a long sigh of relief, feeling like I had just fought a world war. Depeng's wedding vacation ended, and I returned to a city. Stepping into the office, I had a feeling of being in another world. My colleagues were still the same, typing on their keyboards, slacking off. Lina sat in her seat, her back straight, staring at the computer screen as if nothing had happened. Seeing me, she only raised her eyelids slightly as a greeting and then continued to devote herself to work. A strange tacit understanding formed between us. That earth-shattering trip to Chun Family Village became a secret known only to the two of us, carefully sealed away. Life seemed to be back on track, but something seemed different. Lina no longer gave me a barrage of calls. She assigned me work through email with clear 1, 2, 3, 4 points. During meetings, she no longer singled me out for criticism, and even if there were typos in my PPT, she would just send me a message privately afterwards to tell me. She even ran into me in the pantry once and proactively said, "Your childhood friend's wedding candy tastes good." I was stunned for a moment before remembering that I had brought her a bag when I came back. I thought she would throw it straight into the trash. The project team colleagues all felt Lina's change. Everyone discussed it in private. "Don't you guys think that Chief Lee has been more human lately?" "Yeah, she doesn't even yell anymore. I'm so not used to it. Is she dating someone?" Every time I heard these comments, I would quietly drink water in the corner, not daring to speak. I always felt that Lina's change was related to me. Perhaps that bowl of chicken soup she didn't drink, that bowl of brown sugar water she was forced to drink, that rickshaw ride at 4 in the morning, was more than just a farce for her. It was like a hammer shattering that hard shell of KPIs and striving she had built up, letting her see another possibility in life. A possibility filled with trivial matters, misunderstandings, and intense human connection. I thought the Chun Family Village incident would come to an end. I even started to enjoy this new type of peaceful coexistence, coworker relationship with Lina. Until a month later, I received a package. A huge styrofoam box delivered to the company. The sender's last name was Wang. The address was an ecological farm in the suburbs of City A. Curious, I opened it. Inside was a box full of beautifully packaged organic vegetables. Tomatoes, cucumbers, purple cabbage. All fresh and vibrant, obviously expensive. There was also a card in the box. Neat handwriting, reading. Little Chun, Nana told me about you. Thank you for taking care of her in our hometown. Auntie supports you young people working hard for your careers, but you also need to take care of your health. These are grown on our own farm, with no pesticides. You and Nana can eat them together. Annie Wong. I held the card, stunned. Annie Wong, Lena's mother. What did she tell my mom? What does Nana told me about you mean? What does thank you for taking care of her in our hometown mean? What does Annie supports you mean? My brain buzzed again. A terrifying thought floated into my mind. That stupid woman, Lena, wouldn't have told her mom the Chun family village story, too, would she? Holding the huge box of vegetables like a ticking time bomb, I rushed to Lena's workstation. Lena. She was wearing headphones, listening to something, and jumped in surprise. She took off her headphones and frowned at me. What's with the sudden outburst? I slapped the card on her desk. What's this? Her face changed instantly when she saw the card. The same look she had the day she saw the Starlight Project, misinterpreted as a child's name. My mom, she stammered. What did you tell your mom? I pressed. I didn't say anything. She avoided my gaze. When I got back from your hometown, she asked me why I was dressed so sloppily and covered in mud. I just made up a reason. What reason? I said, I went to a colleague's hometown for team building to experience life. And then I accidentally fell into a rice paddy. And you saved me. I looked at her at a loss for words. Fell into a rice paddy? Team building. This reason is even more outrageous than my CEO's fiancé. Then why did your mom say supports us? I picked up the card, pointing to those words. Lena's face flushed red. My mom, she probably likes to let her imagination run wild. Run wild. I laughed in exasperation. She's letting her imagination run wild to the point of sending vegetables to our office. Lena, do you think my life isn't exciting enough that you need to add some drama? Lena hung her head like a child who had done something wrong. I didn't know it would be like this. My mom, she's been urging me to find a boyfriend, maybe. When I was describing you, I embellished. A little. How did you embellish? I knew it. You, even though you look lazy at times, are very reliable in critical moments, very kind, very reassuring. Her voice grew softer and softer. I held my forehead, feeling a wave of dizziness. It's over. The Chun family village incident was just the beginning. Now, the flames of war have spread from my own camp to the enemy's headquarters. I not only have to deal with a mother who sees me as a CEO, son-in-law, but also face a organic farm owner mother-in-law who sees me as a future son-in-law. I looked at the box of fresh, organic vegetables on the table. They seemed to be mocking me. My life has completely slid into an abyss of misunderstanding and coincidence that I cannot comprehend. And the culprit of all this is sitting in front of me, looking at me with an innocent look that says, I'm a victim too. In the end, I couldn't return the box of vegetables. Because Lena said that if her mom found out she returned them, she would really come to the company to kill her. I didn't doubt that for a second. Judging from Aunt Wong's ability to fantasize falling into the field into a lifelong commitment, she and my mom are definitely in the same league. So, that box of expensive organic vegetables became an extra snack for the entire department's afternoon tea. Sister Zhang from the finance department, while gnawing on a cucumber thicker than her arm, exclaimed, Yangzi, what does your relative do? This cucumber is so juicy, even better than the imported ones I buy. I chuckled dryly. Distant relative. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Lena burying her head even lower at her workstation. When work ended, Lena stopped me. Qinyang, what is it now, Director Li? I said grumpily, my mom, she wants to invite you to the farm for dinner this weekend. I stopped and turned back to look at her. Say that again. She said she wants to thank you in person. Lena's voice was as soft as a mosquito's buzz, and also to assess you. Assess? Assess what? Assess my farming skills. She said, to assess her daughter's taste. I looked at her and suddenly felt very tired, mentally exhausted. Lena, I sighed, Can we find an opportunity to explain everything to your aunt and uncle and my mom? No. Lina shook her head immediately, reacting strongly. Absolutely not. If my mom knew I ran hundreds of kilometers to a village alone for a broken document and made so many jokes, she would break my legs. If your mom knew the truth, do you think she would let you off? She was right. If my mom knew that her future CEO daughter-in-law was just an idiot who forgot to check her emails, and I even helped her lie, I didn't dare to imagine that scene. A rolling pin might be the lightest punishment. We two were tightly bound together by the lies we had woven ourselves. We wanted to untie it, but found that the rope was tightening more and more, already tied in a knot. Then what do you want to do? I asked her. How about? She looked at me with a hint of pleading in her eyes. You just bear with it a little longer and come with me for a meal. Just one meal. I promise I'll explain to my mom that we're just ordinary colleagues and tell her not to misunderstand anymore. Looking at her pitiful appearance, I couldn't help but think of her in Chun family village, surrounded by a group of aunties, at a loss. My heart softened. Okay, I squeezed out the words, just one meal. On the weekend, I drove my beat-up secondhand car with Lina to her family's organic farm. The farm was big and beautiful. Aunt Wong, my future mother-in-law, was more enthusiastic than I had imagined. She held my hand, chatting about tomatoes in the greenhouse, then free-range chickens, and finally, the topic inevitably returned to Lina and me. Little Chun, our Nana is just a bit impulsive and career-minded, but she's a good girl. In the future, you'll have to be more tolerant. I could only smile awkwardly. Annie, you're too kind, directorly. Nana, she's very capable at work. The meal was torturous. Lina's promised explanation was also long overdue. Every time I tried to steer the conversation towards we're just colleagues, Aunt Wong would interrupt with, come on, Xiao Chun, try this fish, raised in our own pond. After dinner, Aunt Wong pulled me aside alone and stuffed a large red envelope into my hands. Xiao Chun, this is a little something from Annie. Take it. I was so startled that I quickly declined. Annie, I can't. Take it. Aunt Wong forced the red envelope into my pocket. The password is Nana's birthday. From now on, Nana is in your hands. Holding the thick red envelope, I stood in the farm sunset, feeling like a kept boy. Lina walked over, saw the red envelope in my hand, and her face flushed instantly. My mom, she... Don't say anything, I interrupted, feeling utterly exhausted. I'm tired, take me back. On the way back, the car was deathly silent. As we neared the city, I threw the red envelope at her. Keep your mom's good intentions for yourself. She didn't catch it. The red envelope fell onto the seat. Chen Yang, she suddenly said, I'm sorry. That's the third time you've said sorry today. I mean it. She looked at me, her eyes serious. I know I've made a mess of your life. You know that much. But, she paused. I don't know how to end this. I don't know either. I pulled the car over to the side of the road, looking at the bustling traffic outside the window. Lina, why don't we let's just embrace our mistake. As soon as I said it, I was stunned. Was I crazy? Lina was also stunned. She turned her head and looked at me in disbelief. In the car, it was so quiet that we could only hear each other's breathing. My heart suddenly beat very fast. I looked at her, and in the light and shadow of the streetlights, her face was no longer the cold one from the office. Surprisingly, she was actually a little pretty. 1 year later, Chun Family Village. In my family's courtyard, 20 tables were set up for a feast. I, wearing a sharp suit, with a groom red flower pinned to my chest, was going table to table offering toasts. Lina, wearing a bright red toasting dress, was holding my arm, smiling brighter than the sun in the sky. My mom and Aunt Wong were sitting at the same table, holding hands, as close as sisters. Dear sister-in-law C, I told you I was right. These two children are a match made in heaven. Yes, you have a good eye. You saw our Nana at a glance. DePung came over, winking and nudging me. Not bad, Xinyang. The star project has finally landed. I rolled my eyes at him, too lazy to pay attention. After toasting, I pulled Lina to a quiet corner. I'm exhausted. I loosened my tie. So dramatic, She laughed and lightly punched me. Oh, right. I remembered something. What exactly did you tell your mom? Why did she decide I was the one? Lena's face suddenly turned red. She leaned into my ear and whispered, My mom went through my phone that day. She saw the text message you sent my mom. I sent your mom a text message? I was completely baffled. When did I? My words stopped abruptly. I remembered. The day after sending Lena away from Chun family village. In order to appease my mom, I used my mom's phone, imitated Lena's tone, and sent a text message to my mom's own phone. The content was, Annie, I'm sorry. Something urgent came up at the company. I have to go first. Don't worry. I love Chin Yang. I'm going to marry him and no one else in this lifetime. When I become CEO, I'll come back and marry him in style. And what Lena's mom saw was this text message from an unknown number sent to the mother of her future son-in-law. Such a deeply affectionate declaration. I looked at Lena's face, which was trying to suppress a laugh. I finally understood. From beginning to end, I was the biggest fool.